What's going on, guys? So I've never flown a drone before, and I picked up from a friend the DJI Mini, I think that's what it's called, or Mavic Mini, whatever it's called. I want to test it out, see how flying a drone is, because I've never done it before, and see if I actually want to pick up my own and see if the hype is actually worth it. So let's jump into this. The first thing I must say that the drone is actually super tiny. It's not much bigger than my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Obviously it's a lot thicker, but it's actually extremely light, and that's something I was definitely shocked at once I got my hands on the drone. Pretty much fits into any bag. I'm super curious to see how long it'll fly for, because one battery, or you could pick up the Fly More bundle that I think gives you 3 batteries, and I'm actually super curious to see how long one battery will fly for, because if you're just shooting, you might not need to get the Fly More bundle, which will save you some extra cash. Is one battery good enough to, you know, just go out, fly for a little bit, get some epic footage, and then move on? Or do you have to get multiple batteries? I'm also very curious of the video and picture quality, because the way people make it seem like photo and video quality is absolutely amazing. I'm definitely curious. I want to see for myself what kind of stuff I could capture. Just trying to see that. And I know this drone shoots 2.7K. It's not full 4K, but there is drones that do shoot full 4K, and I'm not too concerned about that, but I just want to see what kind of depth and how far you can push the colors on these drones, and yeah, just see how it looks. If it looks good, it is what it is. Or is it going to look like an iPhone photo? Who knows? So setting up the drone is extremely easy. Just make sure you download the app and make sure it's updated before you leave, because who wants to get to your actual destination and then not be able to use the drone because you forgot to update it or download the app? Because that would be terrible. You do this crazy hike to go fly the drone at an epic location and you realize that you forgot to download the app. That would suck. Setting up the controller is pretty easy. You just attach your phone to the actual controller, and I will say though, take off your phone case, because chances are it's not going to fit. And I don't really like this setup, because I wish the controller had its own screen on it, just to make things a little bit more fluid. And my iPhone 12 Pro Max, it seems like it's the max size that the controller can take without it like bending further out. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you can actually get bigger phones in here, but it just seems like the controller is a little flimsy using my iPhone 12 Pro Max. But I know there is a controller out there that does have a screen built into it, so that's a huge plus. Setting up the whole drone is fairly easy. It only takes maybe 10 minutes from start to finish, and you're pretty much ready to fly. You do have to calibrate the drone, which is kind of weird. You kind of have to twist it in like a 360, and then like vertically you have to twist it in like a 360 form, and that's just to calibrate it, making sure it knows where it is and getting the GPS signal right, which is definitely a huge perk. I rather do that step than not do it and then just fly blindfolded pretty much. It just helps the drone return home if you do lose connection, or if you just tap the home button on the drone, which is definitely ideal. I love these safety features. I will say, once you do take off, the drone is pretty simple to fly. I'm not a huge fan of the controls on it, but it is ideal to fly. There's like a cine mode, a sport mode, and just a regular mode. I personally just leave it in regular mode because the cine is just too slow, and then the sport mode just is way too fast and tilts the camera down and doesn't really look that cinematic, in my opinion. The battery life is actually pretty decent. I can't complain. I had it up for about 10 minutes and I still had battery life left. I thought that, you know, 10 minutes and the battery was going to be pretty much completely done, but I still had about 60-80% left. It does keep the drone extremely steady even when it's windy, as well as the controls and looking at the screen feels to me like you're playing a video game, which brings me back to my childhood where I was playing a bunch of video games. I definitely do think you need at least 2 batteries though if you do want like a full day of hiking and flying and stuff like that, but if you're just going out to shoot a couple clips, I would say you could get away with 1 battery. But yeah, definitely I would suggest picking up 2 batteries just to be on the safer side. You don't really need 3-4 batteries unless you're doing a super crazy extended amount of flying, in my opinion. I really do like this drone because it comes in at under the weight limit of, I think it's 250 grams, which allows you to fly it without having a commercial license, because who wants to go through all that work, especially if you don't need to, if you just want to pick a drone up, fly around, get some shots, and you know, nobody really wants to go through, I think it's a 2-day training course or something along those lines. And yeah, that's just too much of a hassle for me. So that's why this drone is ideal, and I just wanted to test it out and see how it is. I honestly think that flying the drone is super addicting, and I just want to keep flying it. I don't want to stop. I just want to keep recording, keep recording, keep recording. I'm out of breath walking up this steep hill. Like, it just goes. But yeah, I just want to keep getting out there. Honestly, I haven't felt like this with photos and video for a while. I just want to get out there, create something, record something completely random, potentially stuff that I would normally find boring, but just being able to find that different angle and perspective, it's absolutely amazing, and I really do love it. I'm just hoping that the footage comes out on the computer so y'all can see it. But yeah, we're gonna talk more about this once I dump all the footage onto the computer, and if I get up this big hill, because right now, if you don't see this video, then I didn't make it up the hill. I'm out of breath, so I'm gonna put the camera down and stop talking. I just got home not too long ago, dumped the footage on the computer, threw it into Final Cut, and I must say that the footage looks pretty good in my opinion. I didn't think that the footage from a small, tiny little drone flying in the sky was actually gonna turn out the way it did. What do you think? Leave it in the comments down below. And my final thoughts are, I'm probably gonna end up picking up a drone. It probably won't be the Mavic Mini, but it might be the Mavic Mini 2 or the Mavic Mini 3 I think they just came out with. And I think it's Mavic, or am I saying it wrong? Maybe it's just the Mini 3 or whatever the drone's actually called. It's my first time using a drone, so I'm not too familiar with the names. But I will say that the footage I was actually quite impressed by. But that's all I have for this video. If you did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help. And until the next video, peace.